Europe was the only region with an increase in COVID-19 cases last week. According to the World Health Organization, there was a 7% rise. Central Europe in particular has seen renewed surge of COVID cases in recent days amid fears over low vaccination rates. In Poland, the government's health minister has warned that the country is facing an explosion of coronavirus cases that may need drastic action. It comes after recording more than 5,000 daily new infections for the first time since May. While in the UK, millions have been urged to get their booster jabs as warnings went out that new COVID cases could hit 100,000 a day this winter.
We cannot be complacent when COVID-19 remains such a potent threat. Ever since our phenomenal vaccine program began last winter, we've been in a race between the vaccine and the virus. And although we're ahead in that race, the gap is narrowing. We've come so far thanks to the efforts of so many, but with winter ahead, we can't blow it now.
The UK is so far resisting reimposing restrictions, but elsewhere it's the opposite. The Czech government is one of several European countries to be tightening anti-COVID-19 measures as case numbers increase.
Poland, the Czech Republic, Romania and beyond, the COVID crisis is hitting hard across many Central and Eastern European countries. Infection rates per 100,000 currently stand at 535 in Romania, 603 in Lithuania and 787 in Latvia. That's one of the highest in the world and has led the government in Riga to impose a lockdown that came into effect this morning and will last until mid-November. By contrast, in France, the rate stands at 48. Vaccination rates tell a similar story. In Romania, only 29.5% of the population has been vaccinated, 59.6% in Lithuania and 47.2% in Latvia. In France, the figure is 72.6%. Joining me from Kaunas in Lithuania to tell us more is Professor Mindaugas Stankūnas from the Lithuanian University of Health Sciences. Professor Stankūnas, thanks very much for joining us. Lithuania saw its biggest daily increase in the number of COVID cases yesterday. Just how critical is the situation in the country?
So, situation in Lithuania is quite complicated because we see really a high number of cases, and we are just getting very close to our daily record. So we had this daily record last December. So when we had about 4,000 cases per day. So now we are very, very close. And what is the main challenge is that our hospitals are becoming full of COVID-19 patients, and we have a big problem in providing other healthcare services for patients with other health problems. So the situation is quite challenging, and still we are not sure what will be in the future.
Would you say that Lithuania is quite typical of other countries in the Baltic area or elsewhere in Eastern Europe?
So I think the main problem, if you talk about, let's say, Lithuania, and we talk about Baltic states and Eastern European countries, so I think the main problem is that we have very low vaccination rates, and you just illustrate these rates in the beginning of this interview. So, and my main concern is that if you will not increase these vaccination rates, so we will have problems, and we will have no other choice just to impose very strict lockdowns. So, and the main reason why we have these low vaccination rates, I think, is high level of fake news, and especially when we talk about Lithuania, if we talk about social media in Lithuania, so we see a really very high number of fake news, and especially in Russian language. So I think it's the main concern that people just following this information, and they make not the right decisions.